Hey, everyone! Welcome to Speed Gaming! We're now in the semifinals for the Metroid Plants Enigma tournament. I'm Crows and I'm here with Flurry, and we're here to commentate this great semifinals race with Metroid MST versus KazutoIRL. We're gonna be starting in a second here. How you doing, Flurry?
Doing good. Looking forward to this one. We got some custom worlds that we've seen already, and we in game two well, actually in game one as well, we will see some ones we haven't seen before, and very interested to see how that plays out.
Yeah. This is the winner of this goes on to the finals, so should be interesting. So in game one, Norfair is being replaced with Chozo Ruins, and Ridley is being replaced by Presentiment. One of these days I'll say it correctly.
I mean, when I'm running it, I always think to myself, I can't spell presentiment
Right.
without resentment, because I resent all the majors that it requires. That's if we get it. We have a Brinstar start. If we had a Norfair start, would come into play a little bit more, but
Yep.
there's an elevator room that frequently requires at least Spazer and bombs to get in. That shows up, I think, in like 75% of the ones. And we'll see if that affects whether or not the runners are a little more aggressive in pushing the bosses, as that is the goal, or if they are more thorough in collecting majors.
Yep, very true. Both runners are getting their first map scan. Get a glimpse of the map, which I missed while I was setting everything up. But for those that don't know, the goal of Metroid Plants Enigma is to beat 3 bosses that will give you access into Mother Brain's door. And in order to get through those 3 bosses, you need to pick up a bunch of necessary items. Which ones are needed? We'll find out.
Yeah, that's part of the beauty of racing planets, is that sometimes you get the occasional bombless seed, sometimes you don't. Deciding when to make that push and when not to is really kind of the crux of the decision making when it comes to whether or not you want to push. And you'll hear us talk about it quite a bit tonight. But
Yeah, and these two are known for pushing. And speaking of pushing, this whole tournament started out with these two in brackets round 1, so this is quite the run back.
oh, was this the first Swiss matchup?
It was in the first. It was like a second game played, but yeah, no, this was first round for MST versus Kaz.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah.
So first energy tank, getting the first few are always, I mean, kind of like same with missiles. The first couple are always the most important. Chozo Ruins, when we get to it, I think both the runners will be fairly familiar with it, because we see those rooms pop up a lot on standard seeds. Brinstar, I think by now the runners are pretty much familiar with most of the stuff that's going to throw their way, and we do see the first elevator. Let's see if they decide.
The first missiles.
Yeah, that's nice too.
Yeah, but in that room they just went past, it could have a major in the middle of that Mario room, but in order to get that, they're going to need bombs and the ball.
Yeah, that Mario room will get somebody, because if you look at the map tile on the mini map, it's not obvious that there's a left one, and we've all played it like a bunch of times, so we kind of know. But 20 minutes later, you're just looking at the map, you're like, oh, what do I have left? And sure enough, the Mario rooms have gotten plenty of people before, and they will.
Yep, there's a whole other side to it, so we're possibly going to be needing the morph ball.
The room that MST was in, that's one that also frequently has a major, but we do need wave in order to get to the right side. Having 5 missiles is the worst when missile doors start popping up and you have to farm enemies.
Especially 2 missile doors in a row right here for MST. Ouch. Meanwhile, Kaz is in a combat room. This is a rough start for both of our runners.
Yeah, Kaz is going to make the push here. And eschew Brinstar for Norfair. And you'll get a good look as to how much practice the runners have done. We know the runners in advance what's going to happen. Usually you get Ruin Slabs Complex with Chozo Ruins. Sure enough, here it is.
There's our lovely room. But meanwhile, MST picks up the Varia suit for our first major.
Yeah, early Varia is pretty great. The game will throw in large chains of heated rooms here and there, especially in Norfair or Ridley. So that we could see Kaz have a little bit of problem. Already ran into one heated room if they start to pop up.
Although generally, like, when Varia's early, we generally see Crystal Core somewhere around, close by. At least I've noticed that. So
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if it pops up. Yeah, for those that don't know, Crystal Core is a brand new item, the whole core system to Metroid Planets, where it helps augment Samus's abilities. And Crystal Core takes, when you're out of energy, takes your missiles and turns that into energy. So we call it Diet Varia Suit.
Yeah. And you'll see those represented in the tracker by the different rectangles on the bottom. Logic never takes those into account, but they can be helpful, and sometimes, they can... in this case, with one runner not having Varia and one runner having Varia, it can be a core decision, as you might say.
Yeah, we've had way too many races with Varia being first or second item.
Yeah, it's
by the way, that's our tracker Paragon for this race. Doing an amazing job as always. Going to be with us for all 3, or 2, potentially 3, if we go to game 3 here.
Yeah, so I'm guessing that Mario room was kind of the way to the rest of Brinstar.
Yeah.
As we see MST going through Norfair. When you see Slabs Complex, while it is large, it does have a lot of exits. And typically when you see those hub rooms with a lot of exits, you'll get a lot of dead end and item rooms. And when we're early on, just getting that missile count and that E-Tank count up is pretty important.
The other thing here, though, is Norfair does not have any boss guys in it. So, unlike Brinstar, which contains Spore Spawn, who is not an option here to skip. So, you're going to have to defeat Spore Spawn in order to get to Mother Brain. So they're probably going to have to go back once they get the Morph Ball to explore more of Brinstar.
Yeah, we get an initial point of divergence. Kaz bailed out of the room that MST is in right now because it was heated. So if this leads to something, it's going to be kind of important. Obviously, we want to see majors. In this case, it's just another missile pack. But elevators are also important.
Yep.
So in Brinstar, we're going to get elevators to the 2 other hub areas, which would be Crateria and Norfair, and also to the boss area Crade. Here in Norfair, we're at least going to get the elevator to Ridley. Torian could be in any one of 3 zones. Getting that information can be race deciding.
And Wreck Ship, our lovely DLC area, is off of Crateria.
Lately, it has felt like required DLC.
Yeah, right?
And a Presentiment Ridley, I wouldn't be surprised if we had to make a trip there at some point in time.
Yeah. I mean, you have to go to Presentiment because to kill Ridley, but...
Yeah, just because of the requirements.
Yeah.
Alright,
right now they're stacking up on missiles. So far, only Varia suit. 7 minutes in.
Yeah, I think at this point, the one thing you want to avoid having to do is go through back and forth in the opening area. Like sometimes that opening gambit, if you start off with like an opening where you can go like 4 or 5 different ways, and then it turns out there's really only one way you can go, so you waste the time going the other 3 ways, and it can build up pretty quickly. Fortunately, at least for these runners right now, it seems like they're taking mostly the same path, so not too much what would be frustrating early routing.
Yes, yeah. Well, currently, Kaz is making way through Ruin Slab Complex. This room has shown up so many times. It's kind of like an old friend at this point.
Friend might not be the word you can use, but it's definitely it is definitely there a lot.
Don't you want to strangle your friends? I do sometimes.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
I mean, at least it's an active room, so you appreciate that. And the generator just seems to like big rooms sometimes, and Slabs Complex is one is very fond of.
True. Alright, MST's going up, digging through all the sand. Is there an item? I forget, is there an item in here? Or is this just... No.
There is one like this that does have it.
Yeah. Oh, but there's an elevator on MST's side, and that takes us to Torian.
Alright, good information to have. We'll see
Yep.
if MST is going to make the push here. Okay, we might be.
Meanwhile, Kaz is
Oh,
picking up
well.
Wave Beam.
Wave's a fantastic find, and MST finding a Metroid combat room in the elevator. So
Can't deal with any of that right now.
no, but it is good information to know that we are going to need Ice Beam.
Yeah.
Now that area to the right of the elevator looks like it needs morph. It doesn't. You can actually missile the wall to the right.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
Yeah, that got me in practice. That's for sure.
Sometimes you don't know till it gets you when you're playing. So here's the thing: you never forget.
Yeah, and MST going out of there is a little concerning, just because, well, if it loops around, we're good. Okay, it's not looping around. Because the generator will sometimes put elevators, like, very close together.
Yeah, yep. MST is going to be picking up the Wave Beam in here. Yep.
Yeah, happy to see that.
Definitely. But did we see any Wave Gates yet?
So the main wave barrier is where Kaz just went, which was that room in Brinstar that had the blocks. You have to go back. Usually purple is kind of like the de facto wave beam color. I guess we can all thank Corridor for that. And runners will tend to kind of code what might be necessary and what might not be necessary for room in those sort of ways. And purple tends to be the wave color. But Kaz did run into a heated spot, so we might need that Varia.
Yeah, so Kaz going back, and hopefully we'll find that Varia sooner than later. Right now, MST is going to keep trudging on through Ruined Slab Complex. And in the chat, Gordor is already saying purple is best color, which... Sure. Well, it's semifinals. Why not? Take pity on Gordor for a little bit.
It is the wave beam color. That is not disputable.
I mean, yes, but best color is wave beam best? Yeah.
All right, we got our second major in Norfair. High jump.
Yep.
Not typically as useful as you might see in other Metroid games, just because space jump and bombs kind of covers a lot of that necessity. But early on, it can definitely be a routing obstacle.
It could be useful here. Meanwhile, Kaz found that Varia suit. Probably gonna head back.
Yeah, now I think what I see, the pattern I see a lot of runners do, and I'll do this sometimes too, is that 2 majors is kind of what you're playing for per zone. And after that, after you've gotten 2 majors, you tend to not be as aggressive, or at least not be as thorough.
Yeah.
And something to keep in mind when we see the runners deciding whether or not they want to leave or stay.
Unless it's like an area that you know, like, has a boss somewhere and you'll just want to not have to go back to it. Like, you know, Ridley or Kraid.
Yeah, there's a lot of wing in it sometimes. It's cool. Alright, so Kaz is going to be able to get far more progress in this room now that
And Kaz has already done a lot of digging in this area. So, our runners, even though Kaz took a little bit to get that Varia suit, it wasn't that far away, so not going to lose a lot of time, but MST has slight lead, I think.
Yeah, it would, if there was a major in the heated rooms in Norfair, then Kaz would be in trouble here. But right now, we still got to see, like, the main issue I think that MST is going to run into is that only thing left really from Define would be the Ridley entrance. And we're probably not going to be able to progress in Ridley.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Kaz is taking on Spore Spawn.
Hey, everybody's favorite.
I'd say this Spore Spawn room's pretty chill. Not one of the harder ones, thankfully, so shouldn't be too much of an issue.
Detail here of trying to simulate an ice floor by putting tons of smaller multi-directional conveyors on the surface.
Yeah, right.
It's pretty clever.
That is definitely one way of doing it. For those that don't know, Metroid Planets, you can make your own rooms and have it compile a bunch of rooms together into its own planet, completely randomized for you, and that's what our runners are going through right now.
Yeah, and over the years that we've seen runners make rooms, what we've seen the runners have been able to do, both artistically and from a gameplay perspective, has been really impressive, and it's only going to get better.
Yeah, there's been some fantastic tile work done from a lot of room makers, and you'll see that in some of these rooms. Oh, and Kaz is going through this missile block, which, of course, is Spore Spawn guarding an elevator. Because why wouldn't Spore Spawn be guarding an elevator, like always?
So, that crate elevator, it's kind of funny because if I remember correctly, like in Super Metroid, that is the room you would have the elevator that goes down to Norfair, and then on the right side also requires high jump that Kaz doesn't have.
That's right, because MST picked that up. Kaz is gonna respawn, probably head out of Kraid. Oh no, gonna keep going. Okay.
Yeah, we'll see what we can do.
Yeah.
If he can't make it, if we can't get through, not too much of a problem. Kraid is one of the bosses that can actually be challenging, especially if you don't have like a lot of health, a lot of ammo, a lot of majors.
Yeah.
And if the room author is feeling particularly cruel that day.
You might say some room authors like to crater your chances of success.
It sure feels like it. I was kind of hoping that as long as it wasn't in a race that I'm in, that we could see like there's the one Kraid elevator where he's going up an elevator, so it's kind of like a de facto time limit.
Right? Yeah, that one is really cool to see.
Oh man, that is the worst.
But yeah, it puts some pressure on. Oh, looks like we got a high jump room or / ice beam, but it's only missiles. Oh, now MST's heading in to go fight the plant.
Yeah, if that was a major on Kaz's side, there would have been a little bit of problems there, but unfortunately, because high jump is going to be the one thing that MST has that Kaz doesn't.
Yep. And we'll see how far that helps MST. Which, like we talked about a little bit ago, that high jump could be a suggestion, but without bombs or space jump. Yeah.
We see some nice deboosting on Kaz's side. In planets, if you hold neutral while you're rolling forward and you catch the angle right, you will get a pretty significant speed boost. And there are some rooms that it's a little more effective in others. If we get space jump, it's going to be a huge deal. But that X-shaped room is one of them where you can really get a few nice deboosts, and that X-shaped room shows up in almost every seed, it seems like. So we're pretty well practiced in it.
Yup. Kaz right now is hunting for any majors or Kraid. Meanwhile, MST's gonna go down here to Kraid, and with that jump upgrade, might have a little bit of an easier time.
Yeah, if you're MST, you just want to see a major behind high jump.
Yeah.
That's what you're hoping for. If you're Kaz, you're like anytime you go, especially with a Brinstar start. Okay, well this one almost always has a major in the bottom left.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
But anytime you go into one of those zones and you think about leaving without picking up any majors, it is very spooky.
Well, there's Long Beam, which isn't going to do too much to help. It's good utility, but not many checks use Long Beam. That could be
not
cheap.
many.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I'm very much in the minority. I think it's the best beam because it makes your beam far more useful in far more situations when it comes to actually taking out enemies and not getting hit, which in turn gives you speed. And getting long and wave early on is fantastic.
Yeah. Because then you just go through everything. Oh, and it looks like MST has already found the lizard.
Let's see. We might need
That's-
Morph Ball.
Yeah, that is a Morph Ball lizard.
Oh,
But
well.
look. Kraid! Come on, you hide the key under the doormat, really?
Yeah, that's basically what he did, huh?
I mean, we always talk about lizard brain isn't always the smartest.
Yeah, MST was probably very concerned for a moment there.
Oh, and this is a little bit annoying on MST's side with this positioning.
Yeah, but it works out. Anytime you get
Yep.
a change of elevation where you can shoot the feet with the braid, you're pretty much in a good spot, especially with Wave. We do see our second major in
Oh yeah,
braid. That is Ice Beam. We know
that,
we need
that
it.
is an ice beam, not plasma beam for MST, who's going to be watching this back eventually.
Plasma Beam would be pretty rad.
Plasma, yeah, I would like that, but unfortunately, no, that is not in Metroid Planets. But now, MST probably, do you head back to Brinstar and go through that Mario room?
I think MST is looking for one more major.
Oh yeah, that's right. MST needs that.
Yeah, MST hasn't seen the Ice Beam, so
That's right. Yeah, because
doing this on one is a little spicy.
yeah.
And
We also got high jump meteor. That was in was that in Norfair?
High Jump was in Norfair, yeah.
Yeah. High jump was in Norfair. Yes, that's right.
So yeah, and like if you're also planning on a presentiment item requirement as well, MST is already thinking needs at least 3 majors to be thinking. So
Yes.
leaving Kraid on one, I think, would be very much a risk.
Yeah. Agreed. 100%. Now, apparently, what did Kaz pick up Sensor Core? It seems.
Yeah, just picked it up not too long ago. I believe it was along the Ice Beam route. MST may not see it. Upon getting a second major, like right now, it is entirely possible MST bails right here.
Yeah. With that ice beam, there's 2 majors in this area. Well, I don't know. I think MST would explore the rest of this area just to clear it out.
Well, we actually had 3, right? Because we had Long Beam here too.
Right, long beam. That's true too. Yeah. Meanwhile, Kaz is getting that morph ball and going down to fight Kraid. Oh, yep. MST is still going here in Kraid.
Yeah, I mean, I think either option is understandable.
Yeah. I mean, just get this area over with, just in case.
You feel like if you have to come back to this 30 minutes later in a race, it's
not a good feel. Yeah. Plus, MST loves going for those missiles, so MST's #1 rule is ABCM. Always be collecting missiles.
But yeah, Kaz cleans up Kraid first.
Yeah.
And is out of here.
Completely. Yep. Gonna head down and that's right, Kaz still doesn't have that high jump.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be a little bit it's hard to say because the criteria elevator is probably there. The only boss left for Kaz right now is Ridley. But we don't have bombs, we don't have Spazer, we don't have Spring. Presentiment loves to throw those in the first elevator room.
Yep. And now MST is going to be able to continue where, unfortunately, Kaz could not.
Yeah. So we'll see if this is where the criteria elevator is. Kaz could be in a little bit of trouble. If it's on the other side of Mario, then
there's
Kaz
a chance.
Probably fine.
Yeah. I definitely think there's something on the other side of Mario, or at least in the middle of Mario. But in order to get the middle thing, we definitely still need bombs.
Yeah, we also need bombs for the bottom part of that wave room area as well. So.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah. So it looks like there was nothing over there for MST. So Kaz will not be punished for not going over there. So it is looking like more than likely it's other side of Mario.
And MSC's going back in, sensing the possibility of needing a third major. Longbeam's probably not the one he's going to want to see.
Yeah.
Is at least correct in that there is a third major in the zone.
Yep, that is correct. Well, meanwhile, both of our players with 2 bosses down, Justine and Ridley. Now, I don't think Kaz found Torian yet. Did it?
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
But a nice little trick we saw from Kaz just now. Walking into the elevator room just to tag it, so in planets, as soon as you enter an elevator room, you'll see it'll say like spawn point on and saved on the bottom right. That effectively saves your game. So now when if Kaz reaches a dead end here, doesn't have to walk all the way back and just reset back to that elevator.
Yep. Good old spawn. Oh, so picking up some magnet core over here. And what's this? Oh
boy!
Bombs is on the other end of Mario.
That's pretty big.
Yeah.
That means that going to that right side now for Kaz is not a problem.
Right.
High jump is not a big deal. It also means we have access to that other pathway down in Brinstar, which is pretty much the only spot I think we have left.
Yeah, I think so.
Kind of has to be the elevator, and as you were talking about earlier, this particular spot can be a major.
Yep, but it's just an E-tank right now. Which, yeah, so far, this area has given us, I think, 2 items ready?
Let's see, Bombs and Varia.
Yeah, Bombs and Varia, yep, yeah. So, MST just picked up that long beam.
Yeah, Magnet's really nice if Kaz wants to equip that, just having Wave and Long Beam.
Agreed. So, Kaz heading back to Norfair?
No, he's gonna check out this bomb area in Bryn.
Oh yeah. I forget.
I think
we were just talking about the bomb area.
Yeah. I think. Oh, F's in chat.
Oh, F's in chat.
I think is looking for the criteria elevator at this point. It's not here.
Oh. That's interesting.
How is there somewhere we missed?
I mean, couldn't criteria be off of Norfair?
As far as I know, both the other hub areas have to come from the starting area. Oh, does Kaz have it marked already? Okay. I just already found it.
Okay, missed it. That's what happens. You can't pay attention to everything, but thankfully, lovely viewers and I imagine Paragon's always on top of things, like always.
Ooh, this room does sometimes have a major, but also has a combat door, and it requires ice and bombs, which...
Yeah. Oh.
You don't see a lot of ice checks, but...
No, but
this
it
is
could
one.
be. Just missiles down there, though.
Yeah, the door can be up on the top right now. That's a combat door, so...
Oh. Can anything be up here? I don't think so. Yeah, just missiles. Yeah.
It is a possible major.
Okay. I get confused about what's changed for the tournament pack and what... Because for the tournament, we tried getting rid of all of the rooms that have 2 majors in it possible. So you don't get doubled up. Thanks to Skyhawk and MST.
Yeah, that's a lot of rooms to go through.
It is, I believe, around 13,000 rooms.
Alright, so Kaz is heading back into Norfair. Ideally, he's either looking for another major, which we know High Jump is here, or might make the push into Ridley. We'll see if we can actually get there without either Spazer or Spring.
That's the question right now. Now, if you're Kaz right now, what are you wanting to find right here?
Spazer's the big one.
Yeah.
For me, because I am banking on AI hub entry being the entrance elevator into Presentiment, because that's what it is, like 3 out of 4 times for me.
That is what we've heard several times, so I wouldn't be surprised if that room is the entrance.
There is another one that comes up once in a while that does require spring. So that could come into play.
Oh, and MST is finally picking up those bombs.
Yeah, it's a really nice find.
So, not going to be too far behind. I think Kaz has a little bit of a lead here.
Yes, assuming they all follow, with MSC going back into Norfair, assuming we're going the same route. Yeah, I would give Kaz a little bit of an edge here.
Yeah, same. Oh, and Kaz is picking up them high jump. Them air Samuses.
Yeah, it's still a little useful with if you need to do like slightly more elevated bomb jumps.
Yeah, yep. Now the question is, if you're Kaz, do you try to go back and see what's on the other side of that elevator? Down to Kraid?
Yeah, I don't know. It'd definitely be in my mind, that's for sure.
You're right, Paragon, they would be air errands.
Would you combine it to errands?
Air errands. Samus. Errands? Yeah. Listen.
Yeah, sounds like errands.
Yeah, errands.
Well, you do run errands.
When Samus goes to a planet, she needs to blow it up and therefore complete her errands.
That is her MO.
Yep, exactly.
Alright, so MST might be making a Torian play here, at least heading in the direction of that elevator.
Yeah.
Might have had this particular area thinking it was a morph block, and now is finding out as that wall is shot that it's not.
Oh, and it has that other elevator. Ooh.
And it's AI hub entry, so
yep.
We need Phaser.
Which Kaz does not have that knowledge yet.
Yeah, I think Kaz hasn't found that room because there was a heated room that led to it that Kaz dipped out onto that part here, by the way.
Wait, does MST know it needs Phaser?
I don't think so.
Oh.
We'll find out shortly. It's
yeah,
not too bad.
I'd be very disappointed.
It's right here.
I can't imagine that feels good. You know, you see that little screw lock and just start kicking yourself.
Yeah, and that's one where you might be just like, I should have known that already.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're like, well, if I have to go back to Criteria, that's all the way through Norfair again. So now MST might be thinking maybe Torian has Phaser. That's the closest
possible
play, which could be. But you're hoping for a 1 zone in Torian versus 2 between Criteria and Wrecked Ship.
Mm-hmm. Because double dip in Torian, not the best, but you know, if there's something down there, it's worth it. There's also the other thing that could happen, and something could be hidden in Wrecked Ship.
Yeah, I think at this point this is kind of like the convenience play for MST, just wanting to make the trip in the Norfair direction pay off in some way.
Yeah.
And hoping to find Spazer here in Torian. Which, yeah, progression can be in Torian.
Yeah.
And we have the ice beam, so the game could be pushing us to go here.
And Kaz isn't going to be too far behind in the going into Torian to see what it has. Curiously, have we seen the Criteria elevator?
No, we haven't. And
Yeah.
we thought that's what Kaz was looking for in Brinstar.
Yeah.
But I don't think either runner has seen it.
Well, I guess. Well, with Ice Beam, definitely Torian with all these Metroids could be an answer.
Yeah, it's totally reasonable.
So the question is, how deep does it want them to go? Oh, and there's a space jump on MST's side.
Ah, so that's not exactly the major we want to find. Space jump is great. But now you're hoping for a double major Torian, and that's kinda rare.
Yeah. Because I haven't seen any space jump rooms. And if there even was, they could easily use bombs to get past it. So...
Yeah, I think the closest we've come to seeing that was there's that beginning part of AI Hub entry in Ridley where it wants you to space jump across like a small little lava pit, but if you have high jump, you can just go.
Yeah. So the question comes down to...
It is a double, but it's spring!
Oh, it's Spring Ball! Oh.
Well then, if we go into wreck ship, and that's where our spacer is, and that wreck ship is a spring elevator, oh man.
The question is, could this be the round where Paragon finally gets an item in the poop?
It sure is looking that way. A 3 major Torian would be something else.
Yeah. But also, again, we still haven't seen Criteria, and there's a good chance there's also a major there somewhere.
Yeah, we only have 2 majors left that we haven't seen. Screw Attack and Spazer.
Yep.
So, I'd say odds are probably good for it being both in Criteria, but it could be one in Criteria. Wreck Ship could have 1 or 2 of them as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, Kaz picking up that Chrono Core, which, late game, not really needed, especially when you're all bulked up.
Well, we found the Mother Brain door.
Yep, there it is. Is MST gonna bolt? Or no, still gonna keep digging.
They've each gotten a different major from Torian, which is not something you see happen a lot.
No, a 2 major Torian is quite something.
I wouldn't blame either runner.
Oh, it would be interesting to see if both runners here get both majors and then head out, because this is such an improbable series of events.
Yeah, it's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, I would not be surprised when each runner gets the other major that they just instantly fail.
Oh, and Kaz is going to pick up the space jump. So now with both majors here... But Kaz still hasn't seen the Mother Brain door.
Yeah, I think this is just a little bit of... You really... If the spacer is here, you don't want to leave a stone unturned.
Yeah, agreed.
Kaz, I think, was second in Torian and first one out with 2 majors.
Yeah. And yeah, Skyhawk says, Spring Ball is the more powerful pickup here, as an IBJ is an option versus Space Jump. Yep. I mean, while MetroidMst is picking up that Spring Ball.
So Kaz is going to get the presentiment information, saw the title of the room, immediately knows, and just resets out.
Our runners are very close now, folks. Like, they're in the same room. Now Kaz is going to have to go this opposite way to see there's nothing here, but not going to be too far behind. Now the hunt is on for the Criteria elevator.
Yeah, we're kind of at the point now where the missile count, you could skip some of the more missiles that are not necessarily like in your face.
Yep.
100 is kind of like my safety line, but like sometimes the seed will want you to have 150, and you'll still run out. Sometimes you won't. You know, on a standard Torian, that number can waver quite a bit.
It's true. It's true. That's why it's always good to collect as many missiles as you possibly can. But I think, you know, that 110, 115 is like the safe kind of bet.
Yeah, it's and the custom areas definitely play into that when we get Torian custom areas.
Yeah.
But we don't have one of those, at least not for game 1.
Well, hello, Ruined Slab Complex, our old friend. Come to visit me once again. Alright, so...
It is forever.
Yes! MST is headed back into, Brinstar and... going down. Question is, how far is, this criteria elevator?
Yeah, scans will come into play here too if one of the runners has either pinged an area where it is, or in some cases pinged an area where it isn't, and you know where not to go.
So where do you think the criteria elevator would be?
So there's a dotted line just right of the ship on MST's map.
Oh,
that is not filled out. Now that doesn't necessarily mean it's the elevator to from Bryn to Criteria. It could be the wrecked ship elevator, but that's probably where I'd start.
It's a good lead, if any. Oh yeah, but MST is going to be checking this little battle area down here. It's going to find out the news that's just a missile.
But there's definitely been times where I've thought like an elevator was from a zone that it's right next to. It's instead, like, it could be there's an elevator that goes up on top, and then the Criteria direct ship elevator goes all the way down through. That's what you catch on the scan. You're like, oh, well, thanks.
It could happen. Yeah. But both runners are still on the hunt. So, the question is, do we expect to see Spazer in Criteria? I think it's better chances than not.
Yeah. I think if you're, like, one of the interesting facts is, like, do you actually want to find the wrecked ship elevator?
Yeah.
Especially, like, if you find it after you find Spazer, that's fine. But if you find it before and you can't reset out, you're like, oh, that's so bad.
Hit your F's in chat for MST.
Alright, so here's that area that was to the right of the ship.
Right, we didn't go over here. Because our runners, both of them are allergic to going right. Well, granted, they couldn't have done this.
Boy, it sure would be brutal to have just below of the logic an area directly to the right of the starting spot. Oh, that might be a high jump requirement too.
Oh, so then that high jump pickup, yeah. Interesting. Just more missiles up here, unfortunately, Kaz.
But the store to the right, I think, is pretty much all we have left.
Yeah, I think this is where our elevator is going to be. Oh, it's right here.
Sure enough, a landing zone with an elevator. I didn't know.
There's Criteria.
Alright. Find some first, and do they find an elevator?
So the one thing Kaz does not want to see is that screw attack early on here.
Yeah, And this
And
is
this
one of the
room.
rooms that tends to have a major.
Oh!
Ask and you shall receive.
Commentator's curse strikes.
So we're getting all majors from from the runners. It doesn't feel great in a race, but at 43 minutes, it's actually a really good time.
Yeah, yes. They're doing pretty well so far. So yeah, Kaz does not want to see that elevator. Because then the choices will have to be made.
Alright, well this will help if he can at least scan the elevator to know where to not go, if that's your decision.
Mm-hmm.
There it is.
Yep.
Nice scan.
That... Oh!
Or we just
right
find
there!
Phaser.
That puts Kaz in go mode.
Oh, yep.
Gonna get the hell out of Criteria and go straight to Presentiment. Take down that purple dragon and then head to Mobrain. Now here's the thing. Kaz did not see Mother Brain's door.
No, and yeah, that could be a little worrisome. It depends on how much of Torian Kaz explored to where like we just might not have anywhere else to go.
That's true, yeah.
Because otherwise, yeah, this is just a flat race.
Yeah, it is. MST is going to be pretty much heading on the same route that Kaz was. So, I imagine
I was a little worried about MST not checking. Anytime you see a room that says tube in it, suspicions. This game gives you trust issues.
Right? Alright, yeah. MST is going to be finding Phaser really soon here. And with that, MST is now in go mode.
Nice, Steve. Kaz.
So now this is just a straight up race here, folks. How quick is Presentiment going to be to find Ridley? And yeah.
Yeah, and that could absolutely play a factor here because Presentiment tends to have very long routes.
It does,
and if
yeah.
you make a wrong turn, you are probably walking for like an extra minute and a half.
No, this is not a Super Metroid remake. This is actually a fan-made game called Metroid Planets, where it's kind of like semi-Metroid Maker and semi-remake of NES Metroid, given it a few quality-of-life changes. But people make rooms, and in this mode called Enigma, you feed all the rooms into the generator, and it pieces together a planet for you to play.
You'll notice that, and I think a lot of runners started doing this around the tournament too. Kaz and MST turned off screw attacks so they can do this damage boost with still retain the momentum.
Right now, any speed is great for either runner, because they're neck and neck, kind of, here. MST's only a couple rooms away from Kaz at this point.
Yeah,
this is a race.
Gonna play, right?
Yeah.
If we see the missile count is, I don't expect at least Kaz to pick up any more missiles that are like literally right in front of his face. So MST with 20 more missiles, all it takes is one room author saying, "Hey, I heard you like Xenotites," and that could be a problem.
Yeah.
Oh, wrong one, Kaz.
Oh, try a whole area Yeah. It's fair.
Uh-oh, Kaz is forgetting.
Oh no. Kaz did not realize that did not defeat Ridley? Oh, this is...
Yeah, this is gonna give MST time back.
Oh.
I mean, I've done it. It's...
Yeah.
In the middle of a race, you know, you're in the semifinals of a tournament. All you're thinking about is how you're approaching endgame, and sometimes you just forget that kind of thing.
Yeah, it happens, but this is definitely gonna give MST a lead.
Yeah, MST's about to reach the elevator room.
Yep. Kaz is going to take a bit getting through this combat room here. You hate to see it.
I mean, at least won't have to do it a second time, I think.
That's true.
As that in a flat race, MST would have gained a few seconds there.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, and
all right,
it's
finds out, and we are now like maybe 15 seconds apart, but
yeah,
MST with the lead.
This is really, really close race, folks. The question becomes, how deep is Ridley, and how maze-like is Presentiment?
Yeah, Presentiment routing is going to be absolutely key here.
Yep.
We're going to see rooms with prelude caves that are like 20 tiles long, and airship hangars, plural, that are 20 tiles long with 3 floors, and
it's going to be close. So, our runners are probably hoping to not see a hub right now.
Or a Ridley watchtower.
Or, oh god, yeah. Then that just becomes all about execution from that point. Oh, and here's definitely a room with multiple doors.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, and are we going to get divergence?
We sure are.
Like
one runner goes left.
One
the other goes right. Surprisingly, MST is the one going right.
Yeah. Could this be MST's undoing? We'll see. But this is allowing Kaz to go a little bit deeper. Man, at 51 minutes in, our runners are probably, like, worried that the other one is, like, right there in Torian.
Especially Kaz, after going into Torian prematurely. But Kaz does find the Ridley door first?
Yeah! We're gonna see... Oh, it's gonna be easy Ridley by the moonlight.
Yep, as long as you got long or screw attack in space, this is gonna be exceptionally trivial. And
right now, this is gonna
be...
Yeah. At this point, this is Kaz's race to lose. The one thing that could stop Kaz is that escape with a bunch of Zebatites. I would say MST is about 20 seconds behind. 20, 30?
Yeah, let's see. 51-58 going into Torian for Kaz.
Yep. Now, this is the type of game one you like to see, folks, in the semifinals. Meanwhile, our runners are probably having heart attacks right now. Alright, we'll get a time check as soon as MST heads down into Torian. And thankfully, Kaz does not have to do this room. So it turns out his routing coming back here is going to help him a little bit.
Alright, 52-38. So, 40-second difference?
Yeah, 40 seconds. Oh.
That's a lot of Zebatites
That
on the
is.
screen.
What really matters is how much Zebatites the escape is going to have. But Kaz is going to have to refill a bit.
Yeah, with this many, even MST is going to have to do some refilling here. But Magnet is what you want to have on for this for sure.
Yeah. Our runners unfortunately do not have Phase Encore, which would allow double damage, which would have been useful.
But is this a room where Wave Beam allows you to skip some Zebatites? I only ask because it's flashing purple.
Yeah.
Gordor said something in chat.
Oh, he could have skipped these Zebs. I guess both runners could have skipped the Zebs.
Kaz is going back down. I believe you just have to
Oh, hit that,
hit the switch and take the elevator.
there you go. Oh, with only 20 missiles. Wouldn't it be something if this came down to missile counts and MST was proven right?
I mean, it sure could be.
Yeah.
Alright,
Oh.
17's not bad. You wouldn't mind seeing a Metroid or two in the next room.
Yeah. It's a 3-minute escape timer. So it's gonna be quite the escape.
We'll get a lot of missile packs from here.
Yeah, this is gonna help Kaz quite a bit.
72 are fine.
Yeah. And MST is gonna be hot on Kaz's trail. Well, gonna do the same thing with farming those side hoppers.
I mean, I guess considering the missile count, that really was the best reveal.
Yeah, yeah, it was. Oh, and MST is not going to kill all those side hoppers.
68 is fine.
Meanwhile, Kaz is being pursued by a horde of Metroids. Oh, he gets grabbed.
A little bit of time.
Every second counts here, folks, because this is quite close.
Well, we got the music change. It's just going by the map. There can't possibly be that many more rooms left.
True. And more than likely, this next room that Kaz is going to enter is going to be the elevator.
Tries to
And sure enough, here it is. Get your GGs in chat for Kaz! Finishing at a time of 53 minutes and 39 seconds. And in the race time chat, MST, who's literally going into the next room and finishing up. Wow. Alright,
Yes.
and MST finishes.
Is that 40? That's 40 seconds on the gaming timer. Was it?
Yeah.
In the race timer.
It's in the race timer, it is not even 19 seconds, it seems.
Oh, what a race!
Yeah. That's close. You can't ask for any better. But because this is a whole set of games, we're going to quickly go into the next one.
Yep, we get a little bit of a break while
Yep.
we set up and whatnot, and get ready for game 2. And if necessary, we'll have a game 3 after that.
Well, stay tuned, folks, to see who takes it in this great semifinals match of Metroid Planet's Enigma.